Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mahou Warrior. During the last part, I defeated Finette and Nakua, so in this part I'll be taking on the last two of the magical mistresses, starting with Aconita of the Toxic Sewer. So I suppose this will be the sewer stage slash the poison stage, so we're getting to the more unique out of the magical mistress stages. Because the previous ones are a little bit more conventional, but now we have the toxic slash poison one, as well as the gravity based one, which I don't really see that often in terms of platforming area teams in other Mega Man like games. We had that poisonous rabbit, now we have this slug. I presume that that's toxic sludge, considering it has a vibrant ring RBG color scheme. Okay, and these of course push me back, and it's a little bit difficult because this plague rabbit is chasing me. Okay, and they also I think also it reduces my jump height when I'm jumping into them. Plus, it also obscures if I'm behind it, so it could be a little bit dangerous with enemies if they're jumping around, like here, for example. Thankfully, the plague rabbits, or rats, only take 3 hits to kill. Oh no, those are plague rats, they just jump a lot. Thankfully they don't have the ability to poison me, otherwise they would be even more of a nuisance. Plus we have this water spout where if you stand on it for long enough it'll bounce you upwards. Now, at least it looks like a water spout, although it acts more like a trampoline or something. Checkpoint. Oops, I should have made that jump there. Yep, and this toxic sludge dropped by all those slugs, it hurts me. That's good to know. So I need to do it from the bottom. At least I can dodge them. Okay, I just need to rush through this one. Otherwise I'll get trampolined right into the spikes. Okay, so those skull bubbles, if you shoot them a few times, they'll split into smaller pieces, so they can be dangerous in enclosed spaces. Thankfully we had this safe area to understand how to deal with it. Yeah, if you shoot it 3 times. It seems that for a lot of enemies in this game, 3 is the magic number before they're destroyed. Now that I think about it, I think I know why a lot of these enemies, most of the enemies in this game, take only 3 or 4 hits to destroy. The fact that Mika doesn't get any special weapons means that she only has to rely on her Mika Buster, which works the same way as the original Mega Buster, but it's kind of weak in long range, plus we don't have a charge shot. So that's why enemies are a little bit more balanced towards having only that. Because in other Mega Man games, there's a little bit of an expectation where eventually the player will have added special weapons to deal with stronger enemies faster. But in this game there is no expectation because Mika doesn't earn any special weapons. So the game can be designed around the Mika Buster, the base weapon, and continue on from there on. Which is nice, but as I said before, I really wish the game actually had the ability, you had the ability to unlock extra abilities or special weapons. It adds a lot more replay value, makes some of these places a lot more fun to go through. After all, one of my favorite things of playing Mega Man games is not only the stage teams and roll-up masters, but also the fact you can fight so many different... You can see a lot of different... You have a lot of different weapons or abilities to play around with. And they really increase the replay value and allow you a lot more ways to deal with situations. They give you a lot more avenues to take care of certain enemy situations as well as platforming gimmicks. But here we don't have any weapons or utilities, so certain challenges are going to be the same as before, unless I buy stuff like the double damage or the unlock or the temporary shield. But there's nothing like the rush coil, rush jet, etc. or items, which I wish there was. Okay, we have this sludge monster with a face. So its face is the weak point, so it can drop that huge sludge pile, which then will rain over toxic sludge, and then we'll find all those bouncing, whatever those are, bouncing toxic waste. But just like any boss in this game, or mini-boss in this game, they're rather weak. Okay, here's where it's gonna get a little bit more problematic to deal with this bubble. once again, this is one situation. If I had a secret weapon or a triple shot weapon, this would be a lot easier. Oh well, this game is trying to craft its own identity, but still, I would have appreciated if this game actually had special weapons or unlockables. And from what I've learned, the boxes with the 4 pins are the safe ones. The ones with the 5 pins are the fake ones. But it's a little bit hard to see though, or it can be a little bit hard to see. Thankfully I can collect it. Mika has that radius. Oh boy, this is a quick segment. I was expecting it to happen, but thankfully we have the slide. This is one situation where I really want to take care of these skull bubbles. If there's another thing I would like in a Mega Man game, or a potential Mega Man fan game, or official title if Capcom ever decides to release a new one, is a special ability that can actually suck up weapons from a distance. What I mean is more like a magnet ability for special weapons, or for collectibles, or bolts, etc. In this game, Mika has a magnet radius by default, but I would like an upgrade in the Mega Man fan game which allows you to collect bolts or special items from a distance, or you don't need to walk right over them to collect it. There are items like the magic card which allow you to collect them for a long distance, but you have to expend some weapon energy, plus you have to... You basically need to... The magic card has to line up right on it so you can actually collect it. But I would like an ability or utility so that I can suck up weapons that are very close to you, or nearby. So it's like a suction buster. Something like the Inhale Recycler in Rockman 4 - Infinity, although instead of just being in front of you or behind you, it'll magnetize anything in a radius. But that's still close to what I would like, the Recycle Inhaler that is. I'll ignore you for here. So we're in the water portion of the sewer level, of course. So this is going to be a dedicated waters level, but I'll mark it as being a little bit more unique because we don't see that many sewer levels in Mega Man games, or ones that focus more on toxic stuff. It's not really a pure toxin stage. Sure, we have poison enemies, but it's not like Virus Man stage where you can get poisoned. And of course we have the long jumps, just like in Mega Man. For example, one of the only super-based world masters I can think of in normal Mega Man would actually be Pump Man from Mega Man 10. The rest are just different types of water-based world masters. Thankfully, none of these jumps are too tight. One of my complaints of many water stages in Mega Man games is that some of the jumps, especially around jumps around spikes, can be a little bit too tight to do correctly, and that was my fault. Basically, some of the jumps require to be enact with a lot of precision, so you can easily die if you're not careful. You saw some of my complaints about the Wily Stage 2 from... If you watch my LP of Mega Man 2.5D, you'll see that. Thankfully, this game doesn't suffer from it, which I do appreciate a lot. As there's enough space between each of the platforming segments, so you can easily react to you can easily maneuver around these segments and take care of all of these spike challenges while taking care of the enemies. Okay, and we have these crocodiles, and we have a spike pit at the bottom. Gotta be careful about which ones are the 5s, or the 5 pins. Really, this game, I would say, compared to many other Mega Man fan games, is quite easy on the medium side, though that may change in the final fortress. Oh, and here's the boss fight. Okay, so this is a purification plant? Okay, that makes sense. This is a toxic sewer, but it makes sense that you want to purify the water so it can be consumed again. Well, I defeated 6 of the other mistresses, so let's do this. So we gotta knock the sense back into her. Oh boy, she can fire toxic waste, and then she... Okay, and then she gets back into the water, oh boy. And then she fires and spreads of all those toxic waste. She can spray it. I need to get behind her too so I can avoid a large wave attack. Yeah, dodging this final attack where she fires the spread can be a little bit challenging, mainly because the water keeps pushing me back and forth. Thankfully, the spread always keeps the same direction. Yeah, whenever she jumps in the top waterfall, I need to be careful and make sure to get it behind her so I don't get hit by that large tidal wave of sludge. When she's over here, though, I can easily avoid that. Oh darn, this is the first boss fight I lost. Oh well, it's not too much of a loss. Alright, let's try this again, and I regain all of my crystals for this checkpoint. Alright, let's try fighting Aconita again. I already know how to do it. I need to make sure to get behind her when she does that spray of poisonous toxic water. And then when she's in the waterfall above, get behind her so I can avoid that. And just before she switches between that phase, make sure to get behind her so I can avoid that spray of water. Yeah, it's just around here where I can easily dodge it. Or I can dodge the spread. So stand just left the waterfall and I can avoid it. Just get behind her, here. Thankfully the waterfall on the left actually prevents me from moving. And Aconita has been defeated. The toxic sewers have been cleared. It's definitely one of the more... well, it isn't really more the unique stages like I expected it to be. The previous Frozen City was a little bit more unique. But still it's a fun sewer level. We had the gimmick with those water trampolines, as well as those fake blocks, similar to Yokuman's stage. Last but not least, let's go visit Dedoca at the gravity ship. I suppose this will be the ship filled with a lot of different gravity gimmicks. So the space stage or gravity's team stage like a Gravity Man? That'll be interesting. Oh boy, what could be the spike wheels, which fire those shots which then split into four smaller shots that fire in cardinal directions. Are these shield? Okay, we basically have shield attackers here. Really digging the music as well. I was expecting shield attackers to appear somewhere, but apparently I didn't expect to see it so late. Oh well, better late than never. Yeah, as I said before, I was totally expecting the sewer level to be more unique than or toxic level to be more unique than the Frozen City, but apparently not. Oh well, at least this game is bucking tradition. Okay, and here's the gravity change platforms just like in Mega Man. They look pretty similar too. So now we're upside down. And yes, I need to press down in order to grab the ladders now. Let's see how this stage uses gravity gimmicks. I totally expect there to be a second gimmick added somewhere in the mix, as most of these stages I've seen have at least... Whoops! I confused that to being part of the background. I need to reorient myself for this stage. But it was my mistake because the black void was present in those pits. As I was saying, this game bucks the trend in terms of less unique stages. After all, we had the conventional fire and ice stages, but we had unique gimmicks mixed into them. Fire, we already had some of those platforming, those unique bomb-like objects, or bombs. And the Frozen City actually had teleporters and the snowball movement. I totally didn't expect there to be teleporters in the Frozen City. Toxic Sewer was a little bit more conventional, but hey, it had the water trampolines, and plague rats and whatnot. Plus, it was a lot easier to compare to most of the other water stages that I faced before in other Mega Man style games. Thankfully, not as much precise movement. Okay, let's try this again. I want to deal with these shield attackers first. Yeah, the moment they turn, that's the part where I can't really hurt them. Yeah, the classic platforming segment's been now in reverse. It's a little bit disorienting in some ways, but I'll get used to it. It's a little bit more disoriented because, well, it feels like that some of the enemies some of the enemy patterns are a little bit different from what I expected. Then again, Gravity's Man stage in Mega Man 5 was a little bit disoriented at first, so I got used to it eventually. Okay, so I can only shoot those enemies when I'm looking away from them, or hit them. They're like boos, they're like the boos in Mario. No low gravity segments yet. Oh boy. I see what they're doing over there. Ah, what are these? Okay. Okay, so they're time movers or time platforms. When you stand on them, they'll push you in the direction they're pointing at, and then after the timer expires, they'll soon afterwards dissipate or disappear. I guess that's the bottomless pit over there. Well, I can imagine how more devious it's going to get. Like here. Ooh, yeah, and they actually stop just before they actually dissipate. Thankfully, there's not really that many jerkus moves in this level just yet. A little bit close over there, but that was my fault. Thankfully, most of the challenges in this game so far from what I've seen, every time I die, most of the time it's my fault for not paying attention. Which I do appreciate. I don't really like it when Mega Man games or Mega Man style games where you died because of some random thing that happened that wasn't telegraphed before, or it wasn't taught to the player. Or the player wasn't taught what to do. Oh, I was expecting this to happen. So it's the gravity flip segment where you need to avoid all falling in these spikes. Similar to the one in Wizard Man stage in Super Fighting Robot. Sorry for all the comparisons to other Mega Man fan games. It's just that the Mega Man fan games have the easiest reference point to a lot of the gimmicks I've been seeing in this game, or other Mega Man style games. Plus I've LP'd those games on this channel, so if you're a long-time viewer, you'll know what I'm referring to. After all, a lot of my subscribers here I expect came from my Mega Man fan game Let's Plays. Well, nothing as bad as the Magma Factory. There's not as much instant. Well, there is instant death all over the place, but still, there are no pop-up attackers. Yeah, one touch is instant death. After all, I wouldn't be able to make it back up there. Well, we reach the next checkpoint, and it seems that these stages are a little bit shorter than the Magma Factory, although that's more due to my incompetence. Ever since the second set of Robot Masters, aka Magical Mistresses, have been defeated, well, it seems like the third set stages aren't really that long compared to the second set. But both of the second set and third set of Magical Mistress stages seem to be longer than the first set, though that may be due to them being more tutorialized. Oh, that was my fault. So we need to shimmy up these platforms then. I do wish, if there's one other complaint I had about this game, I really wish that I had the ability to store more items in my inventory. I can only store 2 items, which is a lot more limited compared to the Mega Man inventory, where you can store up to 4 or 9 E tanks, W tanks, M tanks, Beat, Eddie, etc. I do wish I could have like 3 inventory slots or something. Oh well, limitations force the player to be a little bit more creative with stuff, but still, I would have liked if there was more room. And apparently I can jump right below them. I thought I had to go to the side. Oh, well, that was a bit close. As I was saying, limitations increase the amount of challenge, but still, I would have liked if I had at least 3 or 4 inventory slots that could better use my utilities. Or I could basically use more of my items. Because if you don't die as much, well, you won't be using as many, except maybe the double damage, because that would be a great speedrunning tool. Because many of these enemies would be made minced meat, because now we have mini charge shots for every shot. Okay, we have a puzzle room here. Well, sort of a puzzle room. So get that moved out of the way, jump down here, and enter the slide. Oh, neat! Now we have moving gravity switchers. I do wish that was explored more in a Mega Man fan game or game, where the gravity switchers were moving. I'd never seen that before. Well, that's again more points to the skipper for adding this. All have unique gimmicks I wish other Mega Man style games should have explored already. Really, in some ways I would say that I like this more than the skipper's other mainline Mega Man title. Or Mega Man fan... that was my fault. Other Mega Man fan game, that being Dr. Wily's Final Attack, mainly due to the use of gimmicks. I like the game slightly more than this one, but that's only due to the special weapons and boss fights being a little bit more... well, half the boss fights being a little bit more of a challenge. But really, if special weapons were added to this game, it would instantly be better than Dr. Wily's Final Attack in my own regard. I like most of the stages better than Dr. Wily's Final Attack. It's a smoother difficulty curve. Yeah, I thought that was a spike over there. When I was first walking there, I thought those were dangerous spikes. Also, the fact, and not something else that's interesting, is that when you touch the side, you immediately switch direction. You don't maintain inertia when falling. So you won't phase right through the gravity switcher for a short period of time. Okay, I was expecting this VVVV styled movement. I wonder what we'd use that top for. Oh, probably to get your bearings. But yeah, this is a simple but effective gimmick. Taking the old gravity switchers from Mega Man 5 and having the ability to move them means that there's a lot more avenues of creativity. If there's one other type of gravity gimmick I would like to see, it would be the gravity switchers which work and change the gravity so you're 90 degrees sideways. So that instead of just switching your gravity to be up-down, it would switch your gravity to be so you're walking on the wall sideways. I'd like to see that eventually. But I suppose that'd be harder to do because then you have to flip the physics by 90 degrees instead of just multiplying everything by -1, which is a lot easier to do. And of course, the smaller top platforms, which are temporary, also a pretty nice gimmick as well. Because instead of just exploding, you have a short amount of time to go before it just dissipates. It reminds me of those speed platforms from Dr. Wily's Final Attack and Speed Woman's stage. I need to deal with that one first, though. Once again, the pits are telegraphed by the black void. Many props for the developer for doing that. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm losing a lot of money here. I see what I need to do. I need to do tap jumps now. Well, I do appreciate that the skipper actually made it so they have infinite lives, so it's not so frustrating to go through these stages. And you don't need to repeat the stages if you die 3 times. Simple but effective gimmicks. We've seen how much mileage the developer's gotten from having the gravity switchers move around. Once again, I would like to see it explored more in future games, maybe at a harder setting. Wow, that's a pretty background. A little bit distracting though, thankfully it isn't moving or animated. Okay, so Dedoca is the more logical one of the bunch, supposedly. So she's somewhat robotic, in some way. Okay, let's fight Dedoca. Dodecahedron? Okay. Oh. She's firing clones of herself, or clone outlines which follow me. Whoops, okay, I was expecting that to happen. And then she switches to the battleground direction. Okay, so that shadow or outline actually just moves into me, jumps over me, then runs the other direction. And then when she does this, make sure to get in the port, get in the hole so I can actually shoot at her. Good to know. Yeah, Dedoca has a lot of things going on during the fight, so it'll take 1 or 2 more attempts in order to read her pattern and get used to it. At least I know when the outlines will jump when there's one of them. They'll basically go next to me, jump over me, then switch direction. Yeah, and same with this one, I just need to jump out of the way. And when she teleports, when she fires that orb, just before she teleports, she'll fire that orb, which will go on to my last position. Oh yeah, but I need to stay still when those shadows come so I don't harm myself. Okay, this boss fight makes sense. Okay, get ready to switch. Well, yeah, you don't really have much time, so you better slide. That was my fault. Okay, get ready to go over here. And rinse and repeat the pattern. Alright, let's get below her. She has 4 HP, 3 HP, so she should fall very soon. Yeah, once you get the pattern down, she isn't that bad. There we go, Dedoca has been defeated. So that marks the end of the 8 magical mistresses. Really, Dedoca is one of my favorite of the boss fights because her initial pattern is kind of difficult, but once you get the hang of it, it's really a reactance-based boss, so you can understand when she's going to jump and whatnot. Because once you do, it's pretty easy. Thankfully, none of the bosses I've fought so far actually have that much RNG, which I do appreciate in some ways and not so much, but I know one of the bosses, probably Finette, was a little bit more random, but all of the attacks are telegraphed, and once you get down the pattern, you can better understand what they're going to do. So they're all fun. I would say Dedoca is in the top 3 of my favorite boss fights. Alright then, in this part, I defeated the final 2 of the magical mistresses, those being Aconita of the Toxic Sewers and Dedoca of the Gravity Ship. In the next part, I'll be entering Essor's Fortress. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!